Today, we've got a very special guest. She's someone who lived the game at the highest level, representing Canada in the World Cup, the Olympics, earning more than 46 caps with the national team, and winning an Olympic bronze medal. She's won the number 10 for her country and built a career that goes far beyond football. Some people have even called her the Canadian Alex Morgan. But what makes her story interesting is not just what she's done on the field. It's how she has developed after it. From being a player to now a content creator, influencer, whatever you want to call it, she's built a whole identity around the game. Today we're going to do a bit deeper into that journey and what it really feels like to represent your country, the realities behind the scenes, and what happens when the game stops. Laura Sesselmann, welcome to For the Football.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I love the outfit, by the way.
Thank you. You know, I have to rock the Brazil jersey. This is for the Women's World Cup, though. Even though this is the jersey for this World Cup, we're rocking it for the women's next year.
There you go. So for the young generation that knows you as a superstar, but not on the field, like more on the TV and content creation side, do they know that you were that successful playing professional soccer?
You know, I really don't know because, you know, now social media has grown so much since we were playing. Like back in the day when I was playing, we really didn't utilize social media the way that we do now. And now it's, you know, my platform's kind of blown up a little bit and I've been getting all these followers. And then I think they now realize that I was like, oh, she actually like used to ball out. She knows what she's talking about. She's not just some random person talking about football. And, but it's kind of special because you do have those OG fans that have been with you since day one and they follow everything that you do. And I'm so grateful for them. So it's pretty, you know, social media is definitely a different arena and I'm embracing it and meeting a lot of people along the way.
Right. So for the people who doesn't know you, who is Lauren?
Okay. We can start from the beginning.
The beginning.
So the beginning.
Please, we have time.
We have time. So hi, everybody. My name is Lauren Sesselmann. I'm actually a dual citizen. A lot of people don't know that about me, but I grew up in Green Bay, Wisconsin. But I played for the Canadian national team through my father, who is from Newfoundland. And my parents met in college. It was the cutest little love story. But I say Wisconsin, Canada, basically the same thing. We say, hey, we talk the same way. We eat cheese curds, poutine, all that. And I used to grow up camping there. So I've always felt just as much Canadian as I do, you know, American. And so, yeah, I grew up, you know, playing with the neighborhood boys in the streets. And that's kind of how I became the player that I am today.
Were you the only female playing at that time?
I was. I would come home, you know, just all dirty and muddy. And my mom was like, could you like go play with dolls? Could you do something? I'm like, no, I'm having the time of my life. You know, that was back when we weren't on our phones all the time. We're outside playing nonstop, every sport. I was actually a basketball player before soccer. I didn't start soccer until I was about 12. So that's a little interesting tidbit of information. But basketball was my first passion.
I mean, no wonder why.
Yeah, I know, right? And it actually helps me in my story as I go to the national team because I switch positions. So I'm a big advocate of kids playing multiple sports. I think it's great for them. And then I went to Purdue University, had an amazing career there. I was a number 9 at the time. We were big, you know, in the Big Ten, top 10 in the country. And then when I was coming out of college is when WUSA had folded. So Mia Hamm's era. That ages me a little bit, but we love Mia Hamm, Brandy, Michelle, all of them. Shout out to those who paved the way for us. And obviously the Canadian team that I grew up watching as well. And then for the first couple years there out of college, I basically worked at IBM and then played semi-pro. And then all of a sudden WPS came, which was the league that was before the NWSL, which is what it is now.
When NWSL started?
That was after the Olympics. So the Olympics in 2012, and then the NWSL started their inaugural year after that. So before that was the WPS, Women's Professional Soccer League, and that was only around for 3 seasons. So they had a combine, and then we all got drafted. And my first year, we won. Actually, Emma Hayes was my first coach.
Okay.
Yeah, was my first coach. But then I got traded to Jersey, and we actually won the first championship for that. So that was pretty incredible.
Congrats.
We went through 3 coaching changes, and we had a player coach. Shout out Christy Rampone, who was also a U.S. superstar. Thank you so much. And then we went to Atlanta, played 2 seasons there, and then the league folded.
When was the moment, like going back a little bit when you were younger, that first of all you had that passion to play soccer, but also when you thought, oh, maybe I can make a living out of it?
Yeah. So I wanted to play in the WNBA, actually. My dad was a big basketball player, so he was my coach growing up. But my brothers are both goalkeepers. They started playing soccer before me. So we were always constantly playing in the backyard. And I was always just, beating them. Shout out to Aaron and EJ. And then one day in school, my mom was like, hey, do you want me to sign you up for soccer? But it was co-ed at the time. And I was like, you know what? Sure, let's do it. Let's try something else. And we pull up to practice and I'm like, I'm not doing this. I got scared. I don't know. I was so nervous. I was like, I don't want to do this. It's not my passion. So I get there. I sit on the bench for half a practice. Coach is like, are you sure you don't want to try it? Like midway through. And I was like, okay, let's do it. I threw a boy on the ground. I scored a goal. My mom picks me up and I'm like, Mom, this is my favorite sport. I love it. I want to keep playing soccer. And bless my amazing parents. They gave me, all the opportunity to be able to live that dream. And they used to drive me 3 hours to and from practice every single day to play on the best team in the state so that I could get noticed. So that's kind of how I fell in love with the game. And then obviously watching the 99ers and that generation. And for me was like very pivotal as a young girl, like watching on TV, seeing that what was capable and what I could do and potentially do later on in life. And when I saw that, I was like, I want to be there someday. And it's crazy because I had such a pinch me moment when I was actually there. So,
right.
Yeah.
And during those times, when was the moment that you decided, okay, I'm not pursuing more the basketball.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to be a professional soccer player.
Well, I actually was gonna play both at Purdue. And last minute I decided just to stick with soccer.
Why?
Just because I felt like it was time to kind of put all my eggs in one basket if I was really going to be serious about it. And, a lot of people were kind of telling me like, hey, you're going to do this, don't play both. And I was like, okay. And it's just a lot on your body, right? And
how serious was that time compared to what it is now? Not serious. I mean, there were a lot of eyeballs. Where did you study? In soccer or no?
What did I study?
No, where you studied, that was the university or not, the Purdue?
At Purdue, yeah.
Purdue, that's a university,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, in Indiana.
Indiana.
Yeah. Very cold. Yeah, I wanted to stay close enough but far enough away so that my family could come and support me. And also the Big Ten kind of fit my style of play. I was a very rough and tough, I will slide tackle you and
really?
throw you on the ground type of player.
Okay.
And that comes into play when I joined the national team. So, but even as a forward, I was that way as well.
Right. So from Purdue, then what happened?
So after Purdue, as I said, the WUSA had folded. There wasn't a lot of opportunity. I didn't really have a mentor or like it is nowadays, kind of telling me what to do. I didn't have an agent. I had no idea what the process was. I had an incredible college coach. But after that, I didn't know what to do. And I was like, oh, I guess, there's got to be a league here. I'll just stay close. I didn't really think about Europe until, down the road. And so I was like, well, there's nowhere to play right now except for semi-pro. And they were getting paid a little bit. So I was like, okay, I'll stay around here, live in Indianapolis, work for IBM. We were an IBM family. My dad and my brothers both worked there. And I was like, I guess I'll start the real world. But I was making a lot of money, okay? But I was just so miserable. I was miserable. I was like, my journey is not done. And I told my dad, I had this phone call with my dad. I'm like, I heard there's rumblings. There's a new league coming. I love you. I love that I'm doing this job. I love that, I'm making money, but please, can I go attempt to do this? And he goes, Lauren Marie Sesselmann. He's like, no. He's like, you're not doing this. There is no money in the sport. And yeah, I mean, he was correct because my first contract was only like $600-700 a month as a drafted player. Yeah.
How do you survive with that?
It was crazy. So we were in Jersey. They had us all living in a hotel, an extended stay hotel. A baseball team was living there as well. It was just a weird setup, but it was also kind of cool in a way because our team camaraderie was incredible. Like our team environment was, and we actually ended up winning that season because of it, I think, And it was just weird. But they gave us opportunities to do coaching on the side and kind of set us up with jobs and stuff like that. It wasn't the most ideal situation, having to work all these extra jobs, but I was still like, I'm a pro, I'm doing it and I'm going to prove everybody wrong, And, obviously I got better, but then going into the next season when new teams were coming in, so they wanted different players, and then I got traded to Atlanta and being there and not really playing much. Like my first year, I played 1 minute. 1 minute.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
the best minute of your life, I guess.
Best minute of my life, and I almost scored in that minute, which was crazy. And coming off an incredible college career, starting every game, All-American, all Big Ten, all that, and then going into a completely different environment where you didn't go to like the big school, like the North Carolinas or something like that, and you were just like a fighter. I was just like a fighter. I wasn't maybe the most technical player, fastest player, as a coach told me. He's told me I was bad at everything. That comes into play as well.
So far, I've seen a lot of no's. Your dad, your coach.
Yeah, but I think I stuck to what I wanted to do, and I said, no, I'm going to make it. Just hang tight, And then in Atlanta, this is when I got to play with like Hope Solo, Carly Lloyd, Heather Mitz, Tina Ellertson, like just Tobin Heath, like just some incredible people that I'm still friends with today. And that team was baller, but we just could not get it together. We didn't have good season. I didn't play much again. And then we had a coach come in, James Galanis, who kind of changed my whole mindset. And he sat the team down and he was basically like, I'm only going to play people who work hard. He's like, I don't care if you're a superstar. I don't care who you are. At that time, I wasn't anybody. I wasn't a superstar. I wasn't anybody. I was just somebody that would show up to training. I was a workhorse, practice player.
Your opportunity right there is like, now it's my time.
He called me out in front of everybody and goes, I'm giving Sess is starting next game. Everyone looks at me and he's like, she's the hardest worker here. She shows up early. She stays late. She puts in the work, all that stuff. She doesn't complain. He's like, so she's getting her opportunity. And because of that, is when Canada started to take notice, because I had been reaching out to Canada for years and be like, hey, I can play for you guys. I've always wanted to come into the system. They had Italian coaches at the time that weren't really bringing in new talent. And then after the 2011 World Cup, John Herdman comes in, best coach I ever had. I'm going to say that because of all the stuff that's been happening over this past year. I will say John Herdman is the one person who gave me so much confidence in my play, besides James. And yeah, so then after that, James let me play. And then
how did you feel when he called you out in front of everybody when you didn't even expect it?
It was kind of like this team was baller, and we had, international players from Switzerland and all that stuff. But in my head, I was like, some of these players like would fake hurt during not the U.S. girls, would fake hurt during practice, and then they would still start. They would still play. And I was like, I'm never going to get a chance. Like, hard workers are never just going to get a chance. I wasn't a big name. It wasn't anything. And when he said that, I was kind of like, okay, he's noticing. Because sometimes you feel like coaches aren't noticing the hard work that you put in, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, he was noticing. Okay, let's go. Let's do this. And then from there, I was still a forward. And then, at that time, and he was like, you should think about playing defense. I was tall. I was a very strong player. I'm left-footed.
Aggressive.
Yeah. And so I was like, maybe at some point, yeah. So he kind of had put it in my ear, but I'd never really played that spot.
So then you went from the Canadian Alex Morgan to Laura Sesselmann.
Yeah, exactly. It's so funny that you say that, though, because like, if you put a side by side of us, I'm just the blonde version of her because we kind of look alike.
Yeah, you do.
And our personalities are very similar. And
both lefties.
Yep. And also, she's just an incredible human. And I actually play her body double in a lot of things. So it's kind of fun. Yeah. And so, yes, became the Lauren Sesselmann when I got the call in to camp. But I remember the first day at national team camp. And he looks at me. I'm with the forwards. He's like, you're playing left back. I was like, oh, I'm going to get cut the first day I'm at national team camp. Great. Never played. Awesome.
That was with Canada?
That was with Canada, yeah.
So you already had double nationality or you...
Yeah.
Okay.
I had my citizenship, everything. we would go spend time in Canada a lot. And
So it wasn't like, okay, maybe I cannot make the USA team, but
Yeah.
if I get the Canada citizenship, then I will have a chance to
Yeah.
be with the Canada. That was the case, or wasn't the
Well,
case?
this is the thing is a lot of people always say like, oh, she's American, she's Canadian, or he's this, he's that. And people have so much to say about that. But I'm sorry, if you were like in our shoes, an opportunity comes along, and I felt just as much Canadian as I did American. And so I was kind of like, if I get this opportunity, I'm going with it. And, you do regional camp, you do all that, but it's whoever sees you at the right time. And I got that email and I'm like, yes, I'm going.
Great.
And it was the best decision I ever made.
It happens with obviously a lot of players, right?
Yeah.
They have both or triple nationality, and they end up like going where they see the opportunity. So
Yeah. And also, like, I grew up idolizing Canada, idolizing those players, idolizing the American players. So for me, it wasn't any different.
right,
And I love maple syrup. So
there you go. I didn't know that.
I love pancakes.
And with that, you got the opportunity to play World Cup
Yep.
and the Olympics.
Yeah.
How special was,
It was incredible. So after that first camp, basically, he was like, show me what you got. And 2 days later, I was starting and got to play against the U.S. twice that camp. And then just like a month later, we won a gold medal at the Pan American Games in Guadalajara. And we beat Brazil twice. Oops, sorry. And that was just absolutely incredible. And then a year later, we're winning a bronze medal, and then I'm playing in the World Cup. And then they won a gold medal 2016, So to see how much the program changed under John Herdman and the belief that he had in every single player that stepped onto the pitch is something pretty special. His attention to detail, just the way he coached us, the way he made us believe in ourselves, like he completely changed that program and what it is, like the academy system, the system in Canada. I mean, he was bringing more opportunities to people. He was doing a lot of the grassroots stuff, building the academies. He's really changed the landscape there. And now we have a pro league there for men and we have a pro league there for women that's in their second season, and it's doing extremely well.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Did you imagine that at some point when you were young, you would be able to represent your country and winning and being, in front of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people?
I just didn't know about the opportunities that there were. I always was like, that's going to be me someday. But like, you don't really think much about it until you go through the process. And I knew that I wanted to be something, that's why I was like either WNBA or whatever it was. I wanted to be an athlete in some capacity because I just loved playing sports. Like I was outside all the time playing. And, I also wanted to do other things in the sports field as well if it didn't pan out. But to rock, the maple leaf, see the flag rise, we're all in tears, like, just being at the Olympics, playing at Old Trafford, Newcastle, Wembley, like all those, it's such a surreal pinch me moment because of how many people told me no throughout that my whole entire life. People were like, no, you're not good. Like, you're okay. You're good for Green Bay, Wisconsin, but like, you're never going to amount to anything. And now I come back and they're like, Sesselmann. And I was like, you know what?
Too late.
But it's just, it's kind of cool. It was like a fuel to the fire type thing for me because I hate when people tell me no because I'm like, I'm going to figure out and I'm going to do it and I'm going to prove you wrong.
What would you tell now the younger generation that they might have doubts about themselves and apparently, you didn't doubt yourself at that point, which made you be in those high stages. But what would you tell them?
I think first and foremost, like everyone's going to try to cut you down no matter what you're doing in life. It doesn't even matter. But you have to be your biggest advocate. First of all, number one, I always say, make sure you're having fun in whatever it is that you're doing. Second, be your biggest advocate because the only person going through life with you is you, right? And every day you wake up, you look in that mirror. Yes, we all have doubts. We all have, insecurities, negative thoughts that jump in. But you need to look at yourself in the mirror and you need to be like, I got this. Like, I have so much that I bring to the table and only think on that positive. And that's kind of what was instilled in me as a child through my parents and through my brothers. And so just growing up with that, and in taking that with me in life and anything that I do is just kind of how I live my life today.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm a very independent person. So that's what I just tell these players is someone somewhere is going to see you for who you are and what you bring to the table, and your opportunity is going to come at some point.
I love it. And when the opportunity comes, how did you handle pressure in front of hundreds of thousands of people?
Oh, I was scared. I was so scared. I was like, a little girl asked me that question actually just the other day. She's like, do you get nervous? I was like, every single thing that I do in life, I get nervous. I'm like, but then I lock in and I remember, hey, what it took to get to that spot and like what I bring to the table. And when I stepped onto that pitch, it just like became so real and surreal for me. I was like, whoa, you made it this far. Not a lot of people get it to be in this spot. So, grab it by the horns and do the best that you can. And sometimes you're going to fail, but at least you're out there doing it. That's what I tell myself. And that's what I tell the youth that I talk to.
We have something in common that maybe we didn't know, is that we were in Kansas City at the same time.
Yeah.
You played for the Kansas City team.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, the best year ever. I was there in their inaugural year. We were playing on a high school turf field, and our team was baller.
2013?
2013. Our team was so good. Lauren Cheney, Bucky Sauerbaum. We had so many amazing players. And now to see the Kansas City Current have their own facility, women's facility, or stadium is so special.
Do you get like mad for timing? It's like I wish it was
sometimes
like 10 years.
I'm like, can I have some back pay from the NIL, from getting paid, because I made nothing when I played my whole entire career even with the national team, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I do.
But I gotta shout out that you guys were the ones who open and leave the younger generation a better world.
I mean, that year we went to the finals. That year was incredible. We hung out with the men's team all the time. I used to watch you play all the time, and you're an incredible player.
Thank you.
But I mean, the boys team at that time you guys were incredible. That generation was incredible.
Actually, we won the MLS Cup 2013.
Yeah.
And it was funny because I remember one of the reasons I came to Kansas City, because the coach at that time, Peter Vermees, came to me. I was playing at FC Barcelona second team, and he's like, "Hey, we want to play like Barca, and you're gonna be the guy who's gonna dictate the game. Nobody's doing in MLS." And to your point, we were like killing everybody because we were playing really well with the ball, and at that time they didn't know how to.
So is it safe to say that the style in the MLS has changed because of you were first before Messi and all them came? Can we say that?
Wow, that's a big.
But I will say, you guys had a lot of internationals, and your team was so fun to watch because you were winning, obviously. But you guys, it was.
We had the ball, we were protagonists of. I think we really enjoyed it.
In Kansas City, it was such an amazing soccer city. It was one of my favorites. I mean, I grew up in Wisconsin, so it was like I loved it because it was very similar. But I think I would say one of my favorite seasons I ever played in was that year.
Yeah, and people, they always say, "Oh, Kansas City is not a good place." I actually have great memories about it, and people are really nice as well. Yeah. And if you haven't lived there, they probably don't understand what we're talking about. But I'm glad that it's not me. You feel that too.
No, I still to this day, when people ask me, I say KC was my favorite. Houston was too hot.
I heard that you were going out quite a bit with some of the guys. Shout out to Don Dwyer.
Yeah, shout out to
Sonny.
shout out to the guys. Honestly, we had such a great friendship with the men's team, which was cool because I don't feel like that happens a lot these days anymore. But I felt like that's why both of our teams were so good. We just all like congratulated each other. And we're very positive and just, pushed each other, I think. We had a good group of friends there. So, best time ever. And then also just coming off of winning an Olympic medal was like pretty crazy.
And talking about like these relationships that we make while we play. I mean, I've been probably more than 10 locker rooms in my career. Yeah. And you always have different personalities, different people. I'm just curious, like, how is the women's locker room? I can give you the men's one if you want.
It's fun. It's a vibe. We're always dancing. But, it's so funny because people will be like, how are you as a player? Like, how'd you get ready for games? How did you do this? But I felt like on the women's side, I mean, you got, there's like people, obviously, like maybe you don't get along with or whatever. But for the most part, we're here building the game and elevating the game, and everyone got along. I've never really had any issues. I've always had so much fun in the locker rooms, you know, tried to bring the energy. You know, I became a defender, you know, and so I always felt like I was more of like the captain-esque role to make sure everyone felt included, and that we just were always bringing good energy. I was always dancing and acting a fool, for sure. Yeah.
What kind of music?
You know, you're going to laugh at, I'm very superstitious too, but leading up to games, like heading to the stadium, I listen to classical music.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like I love Andrea Bocelli, Josh Groban, like.
So like crying, almost crying.
Yeah, like, because I just felt like it really like centered me, like slow music. But then when I get to the locker room, I'm like, the rap is on, the Latin music. I love Latin music. It's my favorite. So we're just there, like, just, you know, just ready to rumble. I remember too, like, people always ask us how we got ready before, like, going to the Olympic final that we played in. Have you ever watched Cool Runnings?
I haven't. I'm sorry.
You need to watch Cool Runnings. I know that the people listening to this have seen Cool Runnings. It's like literally one of my favorites. It's like Jamaica, we have a bobsled team. So basically, one of the guys, he goes in front of the mirror and he's like, we got pride, we got power. And then he's like, we don't take anything from nobody. And I skipped a few words there, but it is so uplifting. So we always tried to bring a vibe like that. And we said that in the mirror almost before every game and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, so it seemed like you guys were the perfect locker room, huh?
Yeah. Shout out to Desiree Scott. That's my Canadian teammate. They call us Destroyer and Bone Crusher, and we played in KC together. So yeah, we were the energy bringers.
No pranks to the young ones.
No, we weren't really like prank people. Yeah, we didn't do that. We just tried to make everyone feel like.
Oh, how nice to have a veteran like you doing that. In my times,
you got a lot of hazing back then.
Oh my God! In our times, they were like the old guys. Is like, you know, you see my shoes? They are not clean. Go
you had to do all
clean them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I ate it all and all my generation and above.
That's hilarious.
But also, like, it teaches you, like, you are not entitled to whatever
Exactly.
you want, and also respect the ranks and learn from them, which is pretty cool. But yeah, they were pretty harsh sometimes.
Yeah.
So I was just, you know, it's nice that you guys were.
Yeah, we would help each other pick up everything afterwards. I mean, sometimes, occasionally, it'd be like, youngsters, you got that. But for the most part, you know, we were very team oriented in that way.
Yeah. And another thing that people don't see, I wanted to ask you, what are the sacrifices that you've done to be where you were?
You know, a lot. You know, I think, especially from a female perspective, and now it's changed a little bit and a little bit easier to have relationships and dating, and, you know, I always envisioned myself getting married and having kids and, you know, wanting that. So like, it was very hard to date as a female athlete.
Was it hard?
Yeah, it was hard because, I mean, you were constantly on the go. Our seasons weren't that long, so you're in a different spot every couple of months. And then you had to go to the national team, and just like not seeing my family as much, and, you know, you're constantly on the road. You miss a lot of things, but I would still do it again today. You know, I really, really had the time of my life, and it was everything. I set out and did and accomplished everything that I wanted to. There was a few things I would definitely change, you know, but
what would you change?
I would say, obviously, hopefully getting paid more would be a big thing.
But you cannot control that.
You can't control that.
Yeah?
I know.
Your parents could control that.
Yeah.
Like 10 years later, there you go.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Ernie and Debbie, come on. Listen to him. No, I'm just kidding. And, you know, obviously it would be amazing to play like how it is now. But
do you feel like you could right now if they tell you, hey, let's go?
You know what's so funny is
one game.
I feel like I could. I'd probably have to like go run a little bit more on the endurance, but I train still 2-3 times a week all the time still, just because there's so many opportunities going. I mean, you're playing in Legends games and stuff. Are you training still a lot, or you just show up?
I mean,
Guys are different, though. I feel like
I won't disclose to my for my
well,
own
you have
good.
a little cerveza and then you walk onto the pitch. Is that what happens?
But to be fair, these games for me are more like about the mentality.
It is, yeah.
Because if I go back to my tennis playing and say I was one of those that I literally 2 days ago, 2 days prior to the game, I had to be resting. I had to read my own things. If I don't sleep the hours that I had to, I would go into the game like, fuck, I didn't sleep well, blah, blah, blah. And then
it was a mind thing, yeah.
And then there's the other guys that they don't even care. They just show up and do it. So for me, now that I'm playing with the FC Barcelona Legends, it's more about like the mentality. Hey, you know what? I can literally recover in a month because I don't have another game. So just give everything you have.
Then get a massage and you're good.
And
then you go. And you can rest and party.
Exactly. And enjoy yourself and you'll figure out the recovery aspect.
Yeah, no, because at our age now, it does. Well, I'm a lot older than you, but it takes.
You don't look good, by the way. Can we tell to the audience,
please? Yeah, we can
please?
tell you. I am 42.
Unbelievable.
But
Bravo.
thank you. But I feel like 26 some days. Most days, but some days, especially if I'm playing on turf a lot, probably about 70. But because I did my ACL and stuff, so we have no cartilage in the knees. So
it's all mental.
Yeah, it's all mental.
But to what we were talking before, you are able to. You think you could play like an NWSL game?
You know, I think that I could. I would if you give me a good month. I think that I could. But that's just because I believe in myself and everything that I do. And also, I mean, like, look at players are just retiring now. Like, Sinclair just retired. She's the same age as me. Marta's still going. Like, a lot of these older players are they're still crushing it,
I think we just need to pull, like, 10 coaches and 10 players telling to you specifically, you cannot do it. And all the time, you become the new Marta.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I think we should do. But, I get to come play TST this year again, my 4th year playing in it. So, I get to play with the young bucks. So,
what was going back to your career, what was the best moment? What was the toughest one?
I have a couple best moments, but I would definitely say being drafted was super cool. I got drafted right next to Brandi Chastain, which was like one of my idols. And then obviously the bronze medal at the Olympics, just being at the Olympics was like a pinch me moment. Did you chew it?
I did.
I didn't do that. But I was like, I should have took a picture like that. But there's so many incredible memories from that. And then making the World Cup roster, because that's every footballer's dream. It's, 18 people get selected from your country and not, so... And it was in Canada too, which made it even cooler.
Extra special.
Yeah, except for we did have to play on turf. So all you men out there always complaining about playing on turf, listen up.
And now you turned your ACL.
Yeah, I mean, I did it right before, so I would say that would be one of the hardest moments. Is I was coming off, my coach is like, "This is the best I've ever seen you play," and I was about to sign for Man City. Tore the ACL. And World Cup was the following year. This was February of 2014. And I was like, I was feeling so good, And I'm like, I'm going to go play for Man City, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be awesome, and blah, blah. Boom. Wake up call. And it was the hardest year of my life. Because you just go into this like little crazy bubble by yourself and you're away from the team. You're in cornfields in Wisconsin, all alone. And I had a really bad recovery, getting blood clots and like almost dying from MRSA.
Almost dying?
Yeah, from a staph infection. It was just like one thing after another.
What happened?
Then I had to relearn how to run. I got a bad staph infection. No, it actually was just from a cut. It was like one thing after another, It was just kind of like that snowball effect. And yeah, it was like directly to my heart. I was in the hospital for a couple weeks. It was, So mentally, it's very draining because you have everybody being like, they're not the same player after they tear their ACL. They're not going to make it back. Like, she's washed. And you're just like, I just think I'm just getting started, And I had to relearn how to run because my club team was pushing me one way, but I wasn't ready at that point. And then when I went to camp, they're like, what is wrong with you? And I was like, I was trying to tell them you know? And so I had to stop for 2 months, then relearn how to run. It was a whole process, but I made it back in time, made the World Cup roster, and started every game. And yeah. And then also the big moment in the quarterfinals when I fell was probably one of the worst moments too. I slipped and I fell, and we lost 2-1 to England. You know, and that was a bad moment for, you know, the fans as well. And I felt that on social media and death threats in the street. And it's just, it was a really, really hard time for me in my life because I was playing so well and had such a great, you know, Olympics, and then made it back in time, was crushing it, the World Cup. And then this happens in the quarterfinals. Granted, it's not just one person, but they watered the turf. Turf was very slippery. Everybody was falling. Everyone that's watched probably could see everybody was falling. And I don't know why they watered it. And yeah, but that turns that moment into something good in the future, because I had a little girl come up to me. She's like, I saw you fell in the World Cup and you handled it so well. And it made me feel like when I made mistakes that it was okay, because everybody makes mistakes, even pros like you. And, you know, so now I talk about that a lot with the youth and, you know, getting back up after you fall. And I had a hard few years after that. I went to a very deep, dark depression, had a lot of concussions, almost took my life. Yeah. I can now talk about it without like crying, but like used to just like, I was in a very dark place.
Because of that moment?
That, but I also found out I had severe concussions because I got hit in the head a lot as a defender, had my head cracked open like 4 times, got my head checked by this specialist because my brain chemistry just felt like it had completely shifted into a negative headspace. I was randomly crying. I was negative all the time. I was angry. And I was like, this is completely opposite of how I am. I'm like, you know, my parents like, what is wrong with you? I was like, that is a really good question. And I was fortunate enough to go to the Amen clinics here in LA, where they do a lot of brain studies. And they did the scan, and they're like, okay, this is your brain. This is an NFL player's brain who's had a ton of concussions like you, but wears a helmet. And it was very similar. And he's like, the reason why you're feeling that way is the blood is not flowing to the frontal part of your head where those emotions are. And yeah, I had a really bad night one night, and it was a very dark time. But now I use that as motivation, and I talk openly about it and have helped a lot of people. And I'm a huge advocate for mental health. And that's why I work with players around the world right now. I work with a nonprofit called Footballer Life. And we just did some work in Kenya. We have a documentary coming out. I literally am an open book on social media. People can just message me if they are feeling, doesn't matter who they are, doesn't have to be an athlete. If they want to just talk. I've lost a lot of friends to suicide, so I'm very open with talking about it. And I feel like that's the biggest thing in sport. I mean, especially as a male player in your shoes, we're taught not to show any type of emotion. I know it's harder for men sometimes.
Yeah, so I thanks for sharing, by the way. It resonates with me too, because I had a pretty bad concussion in 21, my last year in Orlando, and one of those that you don't remember anything. Obviously, I couldn't see the people's faces right after the hit. Very scary. I threw up multiple times, and I was like drunk for 4 or 5 days. That you know that you're trying to walk and you don't know where you are.
Mm-hmm.
And to your point, there was days that you don't feel like yourself, and when you don't feel like yourself, you just get more scared and more scared, and you get into that loophole. It's like, hey, if this keeps continuing like this, is it worth it?
Yeah.
Right. So I completely understand how you were going through.
And you couldn't show or say that because we had to be tough. We had to be like, your coach is like, you're ready, right? And you're like, yeah, I'm ready. I can play. And you know, but on the men's side, I feel like they're a little bit more vulnerable. They don't know, they feel like they can't open up and talk about how they're feeling. And you probably just had to act like super tough. And
and then it goes against you because you don't perform the same. Exactly. You don't feel the same. And also like, each person is different. And when you say, hey, I think I have a concussion or I have a concussion, at the end of the day, people are like, okay, if, it's not measurable. It's not like you have an ACL, okay, it's 9 months or 11 months, right? It's just you don't know when you're going to recover. So it's like you are in that spot that is like, hey, how are you feeling better? And literally no, but like, a little bit better. And you kind of go through the whole. So concussions are definitely a pretty big thing and real. So going from a bad place, which was when you had the ACL, then being able to be on the World Cup right after that, when everybody said you wouldn't be the same, was awesome, right? Then going back down again when you make that mistake, it's not even a mistake, it's just you slid, right? Things happen. Maybe there's nobody talks about the striker that had the opportunity to score the goal and they didn't, right? So
we had a lot of open shots, but it's okay. You win as a team and as you lose as a team.
Correct. So to that point, we cannot make ourselves the only point of even success or for the worst. But I think this shows something that it's a beautiful thing with just life. It's just you go up and down, and the fact that even it took you a little bit of time to recover after that, now you are here more bright than ever. And now you, after you retire, you become a superstar. I wanna know more about this side now.
So I was like, what do I do when I'm done? I really hadn't thought about it because I thought I was going to do another cycle. And then I was kind of like, okay, maybe this is the time. I was, getting up there in age. I still wanted to have kids and all that stuff. So I was kind of like, maybe this is the right time to kind of just like walk away and start something else. And I always wanted to be in broadcasting or on TV in some capacity. I grew up in theater. I love to sing. So
in theater?
I'm a huge theater kid. I used to do a lot of musicals. And so I've always loved as you can tell, I have like a big personality. I'm a goofball, like whatever. So I'm very animated. So you can probably tell that that's something from my past life. And it kind of has helped me transition into what I'm doing now.
So you said that you're a good singer, right?
I love singing.
Can you sing us something?
Oh my gosh, now you put me on the spot. But I do have some on my Instagram. People can go.
What's your favorite song to sing?
I love Rent. I don't know. Do you follow Broadway? Are you like do you know Broadway a little bit?
I don't, but can you?
Maybe next time. I'm a little shy now. You put me on the spot. Maybe I'll throw a little something at the end.
Okay.
But so we're out making some music right now. So, which is something a lot of people don't even know that about me. So, and now I was like, okay, I'll move to LA because I felt like a lot of athletes were coming out here to do something in TV. And I didn't really know the path. I was like, I'll go try it. And so I thought I wanted to do broadcasting. I worked for Fox for the 2019 World Cup. It was amazing. Had a great time. I learned so much, but realized that I like more of like the funny, goofy, allow me to be like Lauren.
Be more you
instead of being like, did you see that goal? Oh, that was great. That was a great up or not. It's too regimented for me. And I wanted my personality to shine through and I wanted to be able to say whatever I wanted to say. So I had two sports podcasts that were huge. Got to interview some amazing people, some of my favorite people. And now I do a lot of like on-air hosting. I love, mingling with the fans, dancing with the fans, getting all goofy, asking them questions and just having fun with it. So I feel like that's kind of more my lane that I've been stepping into. And then I've been doing a lot of acting here and there, which is not something I thought I was going to be doing, but I've always kind of been in it since around 2012, 2014 or around that area. I started acting in a few movies, a few horror films. You'll see me.
Horror films?
Yeah, the blonde always dies first. So yes, of course I die a few times. But so I've done a few horror films and then really got into like stunt work out here. So I do a lot of stunt work. Any sports, mostly soccer, but I've done some basketball, some other stuff as well.
What do you do? Like
with the stunts?
Yeah.
So if you see someone getting their leg broken or slide tackles, it's usually us, the body double, coming in and doing that stunt. And then they'll put in like the actor, their face, but it's like our body doing the stunt.
Okay, so you are the one getting injured?
Yeah, I'm the one that's injuring people mostly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like to injure the people.
That's fun.
Yeah.
And they pay you for that?
Yes, you get paid for it. It's great. And then I just got
Unbelievable.
asked to do fight scenes, so I might attempt to get into fight scenes a little bit. So yeah, one of the guys was like, "You would be really good at doing fight scenes," and I was like, "Okay, let's try it." So I might learn that. But I grew up in the middle of nowhere, so like my dad taught me how to hunt, fish. Like I can do a lot of things that people don't know. So I have many talents, or at least I tell myself. And I'm starting a clothing line. I've become like an entrepreneur, so we're trying different things. And I feel like I don't want to work for people anymore. I want to work for myself. So I do a lot of the freelance stuff, the content creation, which has been super fun, especially with these 2 World Cups coming up and then the Olympics here. But my passion is helping the next generation. I did a little bit of agent work, so I advise a lot of players, youth and professional, try to help them.
Still now?
Yep. I've worked with some really amazing people and to learn the business and also learn that the business is not so great. But I also, that's why I want to change that narrative, because I want to be somebody who people can trust, in a safe space. So that's a whole other podcast on that. But so I work with a lot of players that are up and coming, and then we're building youth academies around the world right now. We're building one in Belize, and then just we have goals for Spain, Italy, Switzerland, US, Canada. So we're doing that. And then, as I said, I'm working with the nonprofit and helping a lot of those players just live out their dreams of playing pro one day. So
I love
just
it.
connecting them to teams within Europe or here in the US. So
It's very interesting because as an athlete, when you do something for so long, which is playing,
yeah,
when you transition, when you retire, people know you because you are a professional soccer player.
that's your identity.
That's your identity, right? And it seems like you really transition in a good way. You find your passion.
It took some time.
It took some time.
It took a lot of time, actually.
It took some time.
Yeah, it did. I think I always knew what I wanted to do, but like figuring out how to do that, because I didn't have anybody helping me figure it out. So it's been slow for a little bit, but now it's like coming to head where it's like, okay, I feel like I'm in my groove.
What would you say to the athletes that are about to retire?
Yeah, I think the transition is one of the hardest things that we go through. It's just, that's our livelihood since we were so young. It's what we identify. It's what everybody identifies us as. And when that's like taken away, it's kind of like, who am I? And it's, it's a grieving process. You grieve that part of your career, but also it's a new door opening to so many incredible things. I think as a female, and you could say yes or no to this, but for us, I think because we always had to have like second jobs and all that stuff, I was kind of always thinking about what other things I might have passions in, I might want to do. I don't know, on the men's side, I feel like sometimes they don't think that way because they're like, this is who I am. I'm making that money. Like after I retire, I'm still going to have money. I'm good,
Yeah,
I don't know.
No, I would say most of the cases you are right.
Yeah.
It's like I'm going all focus on this, and then we'll see what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
In my case, particularly, I think I always wanted to do something else right after. Even I was like very passionate on the sports business
And
side
look at
of
what
things.
you're doing. Some amazing
I'm
stuff.
trying, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you are absolutely right. There's a lot of people that they just play and then we'll figure out what's next.
Yeah, but I think just
So you don't develop anything until you are 34, 35. Whenever you retire, and all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, what do I do now? What can I add value here? There's a lot of people that they have already like 10, 12 years of experience ahead of you. And that's a whole conversation there.
Yeah, I think I kind of looked at what was missing throughout my career, and I was like, I really want to like input myself into those situations to be able to have these people not like this next generation not have to go through what I went through, or, feel a little bit safer or have more opportunities and stuff like that. So I started like kind of sitting with that and being like, where could I insert myself and, give the most back
for example, with myself, what happened was that when I retire, I obviously you don't have that experience, but I had to find experience trying things.
Yeah, exactly.
And then all of a sudden you're becoming more an expert and you understand better that specific niche that you're looking for and you're trying.
Yeah.
And with that, to your point, now you are already like in a way better place than when you just finished. But because I think you did a lot of things and try and had that personal experience about.
Yeah, and that's what I always say to the youth. Like, there's so many different facets if you want to stay in sport or whatever you want to do, and just try things and see what kind of sticks with you. And yeah, so it's been fun, and I get to do a lot of exciting up and coming projects. So I'm excited.
Talking about an exciting project, I saw something that I think is probably one of the exciting things I've seen, and I'm going to show it to you.
Uh-oh.
Fit as Pro.
Oh my gosh, Fit as a Pro, yes. I used to have workout DVDs in English and Spanish.
Tell me more about this. I'm very interested.
Well, actually, I credit my friend who okay, so this is how it happened. So basically, I had someone reach out to me who's become like one of my great friends and became my business partner. She was a huge fan of women's soccer, and she was also a movie producer. And she was like, hey, like, I'm doing this movie. Do you want to be a part of it? And so she's the one that kind of, shout out Liliana Kligman, she's the one that kind of got me into the whole like acting stuff, which I give her so much credit for. And then she was like, I love fitness, right? I love all of that. And I saw that there was a need back then. Now everyone's doing fitness, but to make these DVDs in English and Spanish. She was Colombian. And, you know, how we train as like a pro, you know, people are always curious. I always get asked every day, you know? So we did all certain kinds of like DVDs, and we had so much fun. We did a travel TV show. So we were in Bogota, and we were doing this whole thing, and then COVID happened. So we never got to actually like produce it and do it, but it was such a vibe. It was so much fun, but there was a soccer component to what we were doing. But yeah, that's back when I was in shape.
No, but this one, Fit as a Pro, 10 minutes full body workout.
Yes.
With Lauren Sesselmann, Olympic medalist. 3 bullet points, sexy abs, lean legs, firm butt.
Like looking at that and like, just like, what were we thinking? Like, that was so long ago.
How many did you guys sell? How many? Do you know?
They're still on Amazon.
Well, that's why I'm very interested, because I can actually
They're not supposed to be, but they're still on Amazon.
I can actually buy it in Amazon for $179.
That's how much they're going for? Yo, Amazon, pay me, because I am not getting paid for that. $179.
It's probably resale or something.
I mean,
you're better than Rolex.
Is it a signed one or what?
I don't know. Did you sign some?
Worth more than that. No. But shoot, Amazon, pay me, please. You know, that's going on my Amazon links, so people can just like buy it, and then I'll get paid, you know? That's funny. Yeah, but it's in Spanish too, so there you go.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Maybe it's worth
it is. It actually was some of the best times of my life, like producing that with Liliana and the adventures that we went on, the things I learned, the cultures I got to be a part of. And we did a whole workout class in Bogota, and it was the amount of people that came out. Hundreds of people came out for that. There were huge soccer fans, and so it just goes to show you, it's just like no matter who you are or where you're from, like, soccer is a universal language. It's a beautiful game, and we all connect on some level through football. Mm-hmm. It's so beautiful.
I love it. I'm buying it, by the way.
Yeah. Let's see if that money goes to me. You need some help with too much. I
mean,
comida,
sexy abs and firm butt.
This will get you ready for that next Legends game, so you're good.
There you go. You go. I wanted to touch 2 things, and it's all about the women's game.
Okay.
How do you see the soccer woman landscape going?
I mean, look at it now. I mean, last World Cup, billions and billions of viewership and people attending the games, and it's incredible. And 2 new teams coming in to the NWSL this year, more teams, well, not more teams, but like just more visibility, especially in Canada as well, having the new league there, you know, getting the eyes of like players from Europe and stuff coming in and just really growing the sport. I think it's been a really beautiful thing to watch. I think there's obviously still a long way to go, but compared to when I was playing, obviously they're getting paid more viewership, more marketing dollars are going into it, more sponsorship opportunities. Although we need to fix the whole watching all the games on like 18 different platforms. That's the one thing that's I wish in women's soccer that they would fix. I think they're trying. So that's why when everything's moving to Netflix for the World Cup and stuff, I think that's going to be really nice. But just to see people really starting to invest, you know, it's so funny because I was walking around 2 days ago, and I saw 3 different little boys rocking women's jerseys.
Love it.
There was 2 rocking Orlando Pride Marta jerseys, which was
Let's
incredible.
go.
Yeah. And they weren't even Brazilian kids. They were just random kids. And I was like, hey, I love your jersey. They're like, thank you. She's my favorite player. So to like, and then I saw a couple kids rocking the Angel, when I was at the Angel City game, little boys. And for me, it's not just about the little girls, but seeing the little boys and like really appreciate women's soccer, women's sports in general, really getting on board with that and having and looking up to them as role models is so special to see. I just, you know, I'm kind of just in awe of the way things are growing and, you know, the visibility that we're getting. And yeah, it's cool to see.
It feels like it's growing a lot.
Yeah.
And it feels like you missed the boat for 10 years.
Yeah.
It would have been nice.
Yeah.
But thanks to you, I think they are in a better place now.
Yeah, I think and that's a whole topic too, the pay to play model and the youth system. And, you know, they're trying to, with the academies and everything, they're trying to hopefully that will get better. But as you see a lot of like the younger players too, like, you know, the Thompson sisters, you know, now they changed the age for women and stuff. So now you're seeing more youth development, more younger players coming through.
Do you think that was the piece that I was missing a little bit?
I think, but that's a different conversation too, because I don't want it to be, because obviously girls and boys' bodies are different and how, you know, we go through puberty and all that stuff. And I think you don't want too young playing at that type of level. But it also, there are a few, you know, superstars that stand out and are able to play at that level. But now with social media and everything, everybody wants to play at 11 years old playing pro. And this is what I say to them. I said, look, first of all, enjoy life. Go to college. You can make more money sometimes in college as a female than you can whatever. But also just go and enjoy the process, you know, and the pros will be there. The game is extremely physical on the women's side compared to the men's side, like extremely physical. It is cool to see with social media, though, the youngsters like posting their content and wanting to be, you know, more eyes on becoming a professional soccer player one day, which I think is really cool. And that's just a testament to how much the game has grown. But yeah, it's cool. It's a cool thing to see. And I think you're going to see even more going into with the momentum from this World Cup going into the next one. I think it's going to be really cool.
See, it's going to be in Brazil, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Potentially last Marta's.
It is. She came out of retirement just when they announced that. So I'm hopefully going to be there. Would love to see that. She's incredible.
Can we tell that she's the GOAT?
She honestly, like, she is, yeah, one of the GOATs in my eyes for sure. I have a picture of us playing side by side and I like have that framed, you know, because I just think she's just like, she does so much for the sport and especially for Brazil and the grassroots there. And I think that's what makes someone a GOAT, not just what they do on the field, but what they're doing off the field as well. And she's a pretty incredible person. So, but yeah, she's such a baller. She's such a baller.
Well, I'm going to say something that now is just I have to. I helped her get a deal with Tops.
Wait, you did? Wait, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Look at you.
Being able to, you know, to be closer to the GOATs, it's nice.
Yeah, but as I said, you obviously, you know, spoke to her and connected with her, but she's
We actually
incredible.
played at the same time in Orlando.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was funny because we used to train at the same facility, which was a public facility
Yeah.
at that time, in Sylvan Park. And the Orlando Pride was at that time Marta, Ali Riley,
Yep.
Alex Morgan,
Yep. That was a good team.
Harris. I mean, you name it.
They had a lot of Brazilians on that team at that time too. Didn't they?
Camila, yeah.
She's one of my faves too. I love her.
Yeah. So it was funny. We were looking at the video. We were doing like the video, looking at the other teams on the living room, and all of a sudden you could see the whole team getting in to get some food. Everybody was like, whoop.
Yeah. No, that was an incredible team. I haven't watched them much. Well, the season just started, but I haven't watched them much in this past year, but I've been watching Angel City games a lot. So
good stadium too. Good.
Amazing. I love what they're doing with it, and they're doing a lot of cool stuff there. So hopefully all the other teams start to take notice of
I saw a stat the other day. The first week of the NWSL 2026, the average attendance was more than 16,000.
Yeah, I think that was at the Gotham game or something, right? Is that what?
It was the average.
It was the average. Okay, that's great. I mean, I think our average when we were playing back then was like 6 or 8K, which is still not bad, but to see that is pretty cool. And also all these big time people starting to invest in it. You see like male athletes now investing in the women's game. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely on the trend, and hopefully we'll keep growing and growing.
Yeah.
What's next for you? What are the short and long goals?
So I will be doing a bunch of stuff for the World Cup, a lot of hosting, which I'm excited about. I'll be dancing in the streets with all the fans. So who's ever listening, hopefully I find you and we dance. I am actually leaving on Sunday to go be part of a special Netflix film.
Congrats.
Yes. I don't know what I'm allowed to say, but it's something that I'm really passionate about and I'm really excited about. So doing a little bit about that, and then also potentially another TV show. And, just living life. Maybe having some kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, why not?
Yeah, why not? And then also, hopefully my fashion line will be coming out soon. And, that's kind of the passion. And just some of my players playing pro someday that I'm working with. So just trying to continue to coach and help the game in any way I can, and do some camps. And
I love it. It seems like you're doing a lot of things, great things.
Yeah.
Obviously, we would love to have you as a host, as a,
I would love that.
Having, I don't know, finding a way.
Yes.
It's always great to have stars.
Yes, I'm ready. Let's do it.
No, but we really appreciate your time. Thank you for being here. I hope you had a good time.
Yeah. My fellow Kansas City.
And there you go. And and lastly, I would end, if you can tell to everybody like one thing that you are grateful for.
First and foremost, my health and my family. Because honestly, my family, I wouldn't be where I am today without them. And also just to all the listeners, and, super grateful for the fans that have always embraced the good, the bad, the ugly, and just continue to be fans and just, rock with the game and the women's game. But I would say first and foremost, my family. Yeah.
Awesome.
What about you?
Oh, I didn't expect that. I'm grateful for the health as well.
Yeah.
Without that, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
But grateful that we can pursue our dreams without having to think about food and where we're gonna sleep. Mm-hmm. So just having the freedom of pursuing our dreams no matter what, I think it's a pretty powerful thing, and that I'm very grateful.
Yeah.
And I don't take it for granted.
Yeah, I agree. Same.
Awesome.
It's great.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me. It was so much fun today.